Alright, hello toy fans. I'm here with another one of our Lego City builds. Now, not going to review it yet, but we are going to build it just to kind of see, hey, what all is in this. It looks like a pretty easy build. It's only 81 pieces. This thing comes in at $10, which is actually pretty nice. 60485. This is the hot rod. I love the fact that we do get to see another. It looks like a red hot rod in the back, and that's something I looked at and I was like, huh. I wonder if we're getting another one because I don't remember ever seeing this particular hot rod. Now I bring this up because here pretty soon, and let me get it out. I've got a building block parking lot thing that I'm wanting to build, and it's this big, crazy, futuristic parking lot thing that I think would be really really cool. So I want to finish up the Sequoia Bandit camp and then get that parking garage built and start working on different areas of the city. Um, I got the bay and other things, but it's like before I get tables set up, I want to get some of these things built and kind of see what I have so I can start making some decisions on how I want to build my city. So with this, I figured, you know what? Let's take a look at this particular build. Let's build it and kind of see what we get, because I think this would be a cool piece to have in the city. We get a picture of the back. We get a picture up here of the front without the flames. But yeah, I think this will be fun. I've already opened the box. I tend to open those boxes and scan in everything beforehand. Let's see what all we got. Alright, so we'll put the box over here so we can still kind of see what we got. There's our box. Got our tray over here. We'll get moving. Got a booklet here, our Lego City thing. This is probably, it says 5 and up. I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty basic build. Nothing too crazy. We got a couple of fat tires there. No numbered bags. It's all in one thing. So let's go ahead. I'd say let's open up all the bags. Let's open them all up. We'll see how they're doing, and we'll go from there. We do have printed pieces, it looks like. So it doesn't like we have anything that is stickers, which is always nice. And we've got those wheels that already have the pre-treaded rubber on there, but then we've got these big fat tires that do have the hubs on it. We're gonna go ahead and pop those on. There you go. 1, 2. They're the same on both sides, honestly. There we go. And then we got our minifig. We'll go ahead and put the legs on our minifig. That's pretty cool. He's got like a bulldog. He's got like a bulldog and a jacket, jean jacket, or not jean, leather jacket. Let's open that up, and we'll kind of dig through. We've got, oh, here's his head. So we've got his head there. He's got a bit of a smirk to him. I like this guy already. I actually think he should have had longer hair, but they don't do a lot of the long hair for guys. But he's got kind of that wave sort of thing going on. It's a good looking minifig. Printing on the back, nothing on the arms, nothing on the legs. We don't necessarily need all that. Alright, so we're going to start with, now we got 2 different pieces here for wheel size. We've got this one and then we got this one, and we're going to start with this right here. We are using those Technic cross beams with peg on it. 1 and 2. Pretty basic. Nothing too crazy. And then, let's see, we got a 1x2 plate. So again, our 1x2 plates. And then we got the Technic. So it's a brick. It's a brick with hole, but it's like a Technic hole, so it's a cross-based one. That's to keep things from moving. And then we've got this as well. So we're going in 2 steps. So 1 is we're putting our brick on, and then we got our plate. Then we're putting our modified plate here. So this is a 1x4 modified. Well, it's a 1x2 with a 1x4 modified snot. I'm going to put that on there and that on there as well. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Now, I'm feeling this is the very front of our hot rod, so we'll be building some stuff up. This will be kind of cool. We do have the 1x4. This is a 1x4 plate with rounded edges and service holes or peggable holes. And then this is kind of a rare piece. So this is a transparent 1x2 round tile. So it looks like we're putting that there. And then we're taking these candle flames and we're going to put them on the back. So this is for us to create, I guess, like the exhaust with the fire coming out of the back of the hot rod. Vroom. That's actually pretty cool. It's a cool design. I do like that look quite a bit. We are fitting this to here. Interestingly enough, I figured this would have been the wheel set for the back or for the front, but this is actually for the back because I know that is the exhaust in the back. Okay, then we got I think that's a number 3 bar. I'm gonna put that in there. Pretty easy. And now we're working on the bigger one here. So we've got this piece here, and we're grabbing one more of our 1x2 bricks with hole. It's a Technic hole. I'll place that in there. And then I guess this is going to create the body of the hot rod. So that's going to go right in there. Nice and tight, kind of pushed together. And then we need our steering wheel. Now, something I've noticed, a lot of my Lego steering wheels, when I was a kid, they were never attached, but now they're all attached. So, and I think that's at a certain age they make sure that happens. I dig it. I'm not complaining at all. Keeps me from having to try to snap that wheel on. So that used to be such a complicated process when I was a kid. I was like, can't get it on, or I would snap it or fly off. So now that they do it, like it makes sense. Another one of our number 3 Technic bars, and then a 2x4 plate. We've got another Technic brick, and then another 2x4 plate. We do have our plated 2x2 plated axle. And then we get kind of a rare brick. This is something we don't see very often, but it is a 1x2 brick to a 1x2 exterior plate, which is kind of cool. Like I said, we do not get those very often, but we do get them. I mean, it's here and there, but it's not something I see like all the time, and that's okay. We're going to put that brick and plate in there. Okay. And I have a feeling, yeah, that's going to be snapping right into here. Boom. It's going to hold tight. So that's as long. That's probably about as long as that's going to be. That's actually pretty decent size for what we're building. It's actually really good. Let's see, a 2x3 and then a 2x2. Now, someone asked, like, why in the world do we use some of these bright? So this is actually, it's bright. It's almost a neon orange. And then we've got this kind of like sand green plate here. And some people are like, well, why even use these different color bricks if it's not going to actually be like that color in your build? And the reason why is oftentimes these plates or bricks in different colors. Sometimes you'll get yellow or blue or purple, pink as well. They like to hide the pink. I think it's a pink 2x4 or pink 2x2 brick inside the Star Wars builds. Those are usually placeholders for interior builds, and what they do is that the bright colors help break up the build so it's not gray upon gray upon gray upon gray, and it makes it easier so you don't lose your spot. So it's kind of a build check to make sure that you're on the spot where you need to be. So I dig it. I think it's actually a really, really cool thing that they do. Design wise, like, you can pick any color brick or plate that you want, but it's there to kind of break up the monotony of the same colors of everything. And if they're going to be hidden inside, you're not going to see it. It doesn't matter. Just going to go ahead and say it out loud. It doesn't matter. If you don't see it, you don't see it, and it's not a big thing. So we got, of course, our rocker plates here, and I have a feeling that's going to be for these engine, for the cylinders or the heads. That's actually kind of cool. Using rocker plates, putting, modified 1x3s on there, and it works out. Alright, got a couple, actually multiples, 4 of these 1x2 by 2x2 snot plates. And they're snot plates that actually drop down, so instead of going up. And that's actually kind of cool. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We got 4 of them. And they're in a coyote, and again, they're hidden inside. We're not going to see a lot of this, and that's okay. Now we do have these green. They are, let's see, it's turned to the right way. These are the 2x2 with a stud plates on them, so modified with a not a stud plate, but a modified with a little bar hole. Things there, you can use that for quite a bit, honestly. Okay, now we're starting to get into the outside of things. So now we've got, and this is our purple, so it's gonna be purple and green. This is a 1x2 tile that we're snapping there on the end. And then we should have a 2x2 and a 2x4, both purple plates. Oh my goodness. And then we've got this modified slope. Now this is a 3-step, so this is a brick slope, but it is modified so each one of these steps is a plate's high. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be a 2x4 3-stepped modified slope. Pretty cool to have. And then we need a 2x2 modified 1 plate step slope. So what they're doing is they're going to be putting one plate on the other to create that nice step, and then we're going to be going right on the end, pressing that in, and then going right onto the back side and pressing that in. Now I want to take a look. Both of these are the same exact print, so even though if you turn it one way there is a little bit difference, it'll be the same on each side, so that's not that big of a deal. Now this is going right up here. It's going to set into place, and it's going to cover that green in there, but it's going to add some room for the minifigure arms, which works out. Okay, now it looks like we're going to the other side, so we're going to go ahead and flip over there. We've got our 2 plates here, so 1 and 2, and it's in that lime green. It's a bright green. This is almost like a Joker car in a way, but I'm okay with that. I really am. I dig the colors. I've got the 1x2 purple tile, and that purple is very, very, very striking. It is a very deep set purple. We've got a 2x2, a 2x4. We've got our 2x2 1 plate modified slope. We've got our 2x4 3 plate modified slope. And we're going to do the same thing, but this time on the opposite side. So we got that here. This goes here. And they actually show us in a way that makes it look it's for the opposite side. But, I mean, it's built one way or the other. It doesn't necessarily matter. I could have built it this way. It would have been the same thing. However, we put it on, it'll go on this way. And if you look on this side, this little drop here is on the bottom, and on this side it's on the top. That's where that printing is the same on both sides, but they still serve as flames. So they're not changing too much. Now we do have the car front, but we're actually going to be putting that on the back. That's going to sit up right on these plates here, and that's going here, and that's going to create a big wheel well right there for our back tires, which is cool. It still adds a nice kind of like blump to the back of our car, or our, I'm sorry, hot rod. I need to say the correct term here. All right, here we go. So we've got these two. Now these are two 1x4 plates modified, rounded modified. So they're rounded, and then they have the holes in the end. Those holes are good to kind of stick stuff in. And I think we're going to be putting claws in, actually. So like the little Android claws. And we're going to be using that to basically build the roof here. Now we do have this. It's a rounded 2x4 brick, but it doesn't have any snot studs on it. Instead, it's completely rounded. And then we've got a 2x2 modified one-step slope that goes right there. And that creates that nice kind of rounded edge on the back. That's looking good. I dig it. I dig it. All right, so now we are looking at some of our modified plates. So we have a 1x2 modified plate, and these are the ones that actually have the little hinge pieces on the end. A lot of people use them as side view mirrors, which is actually quite fine. Then you've got a 1x2 modified plate that's got a claw on it. So we're going to put this one here on the end. And these are going to go on each side. Now they're only sticking by one stud, but we're going to be putting a tile on it for the window that I think is going to hold everything together. And then of course we got our little slope, so it's a rounded slope. That's a 1x4, but that's going to go on the end. That's going to curve over the front here to create that part of the hot rod. And then we need a green. Go ahead and put a green 1x2 plate, and that's going to go right between both of these. So I need to rock both of these back, put the plate in, and then I can push that up and hold that tight. That looks good. And I guess if you wanted to, you could always pull that up to look in there. Hey, you know, check out the headers, blah, 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 and do it like that. That's pretty cool. Still gives it some playability. And that's, I mean, this is what this is all about. You know, as an adult fan, I like building this stuff and I like doing this, but I also highly enjoy like kids, like the idea of kids getting to play and do this. So we got another one of our plates. We're going to stick that rounded 1x4 curved slope on there. And then we get our first printed tile. Now this is a 2x2 that's actually rounded on one end, but it's actually printed. It's got the grill printed on the front. That's going to snap into place there. And that's going to go, of course, up front. Let's see how they have us doing it. Looks like they have us doing it just like this. Boom. And that should meet up with that. And then we got the front of our hot rod. It's looking hot. I'm digging it. Okay. Now we're using 1x3, 1x3 kind of modified. These, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. So they're 1x3s, but they have holes in every single one. A lot of people use these to round out edges of things. You can use some 1x2s to round out big areas. They work really, really well to make towers and other things like that. But we're using 1x3s. Each one has a hole in, and they're rounded on the ends. But we're going to be sticking our candle pieces, one in there, and then we probably need to do one on the opposite end, and these are going to go in here. So let's see how they're placing them right here on these headers. Now this still will turn just a little bit, so if you need to turn it out, you can. I think it'd probably be best more up than anything. But that's where these headers, they're firing and they got the flame shooting out. It's actually a really fun technique. I like that they put that in there. And then you could still act like you got to get it in there and look under the hood and figure things out. So it adds that little bit of green in there. It looks good. And it keeps them from turning all the way up, which is, I think, the whole purpose in it. It'd have been probably nice if we had a lingot on there that was in green. I think that would have given it more, or some sort of like, tube or something to breathe in on it. I don't know. That's just me speculating and adding probably more than Lego really wanted to put into this. We do have that that tile that's got a surface on it, a raised like vertical surface. This is done in a smoky gray, so it's not clear. It's more like a smoky gray, and we're just setting that in as a little window, which works. And then, like I said, with these, we are using these droid claws here. And we're going to press each one in. 1 and 2. There we go. And that's going to be where our roof, I think, is going to open so we can get people in and out. It's a pretty sharp idea. Yeah, there we go. So we have this, and then we're putting in 1 and 2. Now, these are actually pretty cool because you can put wheels on them, but they are 2x2 plates that on the anti-stud area you've got a 2x service bar and still anti-studs on the bottom, which is nice. They don't have to put that in, but the fact that they do put it in, it's like, all right, so you really are thinking through this process. Then, of course, we got slopes, but they are studded slopes instead of anti-studded. So they are 1x2 and it'd be 1x2 inverted slopes. So we're gonna stick those in there. Boom, boom. There we go. And we got ourselves a little roof. And this is supposed to snap right into here. There we go. Oh, wow. Yeah, that works. It actually, it's got a bit of a tough, buggy look to it. I dig that a lot. It looks really good. Okay. Now, we've already got our tires fitted, so we're going to fit those on. They go on the back. Avi. Boom. And boom. And then our other tires are going to go on the front. Boom. And boom. Boom, boom. Vroom. And then we have one candlestick piece left. That's it. Out of everything, we don't have any more. I guess we don't really necessarily need any more, to be quite honest. Unless we put it in his hand. He's playing with fire. He's the guy. He's got like a little lighter in his hand. That's what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna burn you, brother. Burning rubber. One thing to keep in mind is that there is a gapping on each side of this. So if you're, sometimes with some of my builds, I usually will have a spot in there where it's like, hey, I've got something kind of hidden in there that, I throw some stuff in there so I can pick it up. That will actually fall through. So that is something to keep in mind. Now, head-wise, oh, he does not. It takes a minute to clear him. So if you put him back, he won't go. You actually have to press him forward, and then you get it. Had something similar with the taxi when I built that, is that you have to turn the heads a certain way in order to get them in there. And that's kind of, that can be frustrating. But again, it's a $10 car. Build-wise, this is pretty solid. I love the look of this hot rod. Now we'll kind of look at some other things in the line. We've got the Lego van. That is actually on my list. I do plan on getting it. That one usually retails at about $30. We've got the police prisoner van or prisoner transport with the motorcycle, and I think it's like a Yuki type character. This is on my list. It usually runs at about $20. The EV supercar, which we have reviewed, we actually reviewed that one with the red sports car, The yellow taxi cab, I built that. I did a short, but I still need to review it. That's actually a pretty solid build. That one runs about 15. It's good. The French fry truck, which I have put together, it's a lot of fun. We compared this with the Luma Bricks chili cheese dog stand because there's a similar build technique between the two. That one also is coming up for review. That was actually a really solid build. Not too bad. There it was, I still think like because I have of course the burger truck, the donut truck, and now the French fry truck. And parts of the French fry truck I absolutely love, but the donut truck still stands to this day as one of my absolute favorites. It does. And the thing is I like the donuts, and there are certain aspects of the donut truck I don't like. I don't like the fact that the back of the donut's not, settled. It wobbles a lot. But for the interior and what we're getting, the donut truck is still one of my favorites as far as builds. There were some aspects of this I felt like could have changed. They're good. When we review it, we'll talk about it. But yeah, it's still a pretty solid build. So this is what we got. It's looking nice. That's a pretty cool build. We'll get this probably by next week. We'll get this up on the table to actual review. Talk about good, talk about bad, talk about things that we like. I normally like to give myself a couple days of playing with it, so that way I can figure out, hey, there are some kinks, there are some problems, there are some things that need to be fixed. We need to address it so people are aware of it. So hopefully, when I do my review, I try to remain as unbiased as possible and have a little bit of experience with it. So when I'm telling you and you're looking at it, unless I'm building it on the fly and reviewing it, I like to give myself a little bit of time so that way I can find those problems, the good things, and really get to talk about it and think through like the build and find out what did I really like about it, what did I not like. But this one's pretty fun. I dig this. All right, everybody. So I thank you all for showing up and watching this build. Like I said, it's just a quick build, nothing too crazy. Um, I'll get this on the table here pretty soon for review, and get some of these new sets out there. So that way, it'll hopefully help you with your decision making on these sets. I'm always wanting to help in that arena. I thank you all for showing up and watching this, and I hope this is helping you as far as like the build. Maybe there was a complication you ran into. Hopefully, this will kind of help you figure that out and get you what you need. Thank you all for showing up. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Hit the like button. It helps YouTube know that you like what I'm making. Comment down below. I like chatting with you all. I really do. And hit the bell notification so that way you can be alerted to anything that I do as far as shorts and things like that I put out. I love you all. Jesus loves you more. There's nothing you can do about it. Good luck with the build, and happy